Media Reviewer, good evening and welcome to Current Issue. With me tonight, the President of Olympia Entertainment, Mr. Tom Wilson. Mr. Wilson, welcome to MEA.
Well, good to be here.
And we're not in MEA. We are in a beautiful arena where the Red Wing and Piston play.
Yeah.
Tell me more, how that idea came to the Illich family to build this giant, beautiful venues for many different sports.
Well, I think one of the things that happened was the Illiches have been thinking about a new arena forever. They played in the old Joe Louis Arena for almost 40 years.
Yes. And before the Olympia.
And before the Olympia,
yes.
Yeah. And so I think Chris Illich, who now is the head of the family,
yes.
Looked at everything and he said, you know, first of all, it's time for a new arena in this city. And then secondly, downtown Detroit is exploding right now.
Absolutely.
Midtown Detroit is exploding, and right in the middle was this sort of 50-acre parcel where nothing has happened for decades. And he said, you know, I want to put the arena there, and then I want to surround it with residential and commercial and restaurants, and let's really connect downtown and midtown Detroit and make this a vibrant city, and hence the building.
Absolutely. We've seen Detroit is growing, and especially the front. I mean, most beautiful building, everything is going, people coming back to Detroit, yes. A lot of corporation moving to Detroit. Is Detroit, the city of Detroit or the state of Michigan, play a role or help to put this Joe Louis Little Caesars Arena together?
Well, the state actually stepped up and gave us about $250 million of a fund that was already set aside for economic development. So there were no new taxes or anything like that.
Right.
But they were going to spend $250 and we were going to spend $250 million ourselves. And then we just thought bigger and bigger and bigger. So our $250 is now $1 billion, and will probably end up being $2 billion, $3 billion, maybe even $5 billion before we get everything filled in. So that $250 million the state gave us has really been multiplied, and you're going to see the benefits in the entire city.
Absolutely, and that's how much revenue that coming back to Detroit from all that expansion.
Well, it'll be millions and millions of dollars because you're going to have a tax base. We brought the Detroit Pistons down here, yes. So just the income tax the Pistons will pay will be well over $1 million a year. So it's going to be money really well spent. But most importantly, it's bringing people downtown, and this is sort of the epicenter now of all sports and entertainment in the Michigan area. Every arena concert comes here, every family show, and of course the Pistons and the Red Wings right across the street from the Tigers and the Lions. So we're all
Absolutely.
Here.
Yeah, that's all in one district, honestly. Tell me more. You mentioned people, they think about Little Caesars Arena as the home of the Red Wing, the home of the Piston. What else you have here? Do you have a convention center? Do you have a venue for concert? Do you have people when they leave the game to go to a restaurant and entertainment?
Well, we have 4 restaurants that are right here in the building itself. There'll be 4 more right adjacent to us that will open next year. Across the street, there's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 more restaurants. There'll be a 5-star hotel right across the street from the arena. The Wayne State Business School is on the north side of the arena. So things are happening, and we're going to have 700 apartments that are part of this project as well, all of which will be under construction next year, and some of which will be ready for people to move in. So there's a lot going on here, and every time, if you come down every 3 months, you'll see something that was being built is now done, but there's a crane over here yes. building something new.
Tell me, you know, before we come to the Lion or the Tiger, or even to Red Wing, from the suburbs to the venue, and from the venue take the highway, go back to the suburb. Today they could have spent a very nice night after the game.
Yes, well, that's such a great point, because I think people are enjoying games differently and concerts than they
yes.
did before. And we built the Pistons building, the Palace of Auburn Hills, actually about 30 years ago. And in those days, you kind of went to the event and then you went home. And now what people are saying is, I want to go down, I want to have dinner before the event, I want to go to the event. The event's important because it's yes. brought me down here, but afterwards I want to go to a restaurant or a club.
You want to make a night out of it.
I want to make a night out of it. And so the event is important because it gets you here, but it's not everything anymore. And so we tried to surround you with a lot of different things to do. There's 7 different clubs in the building in addition to the 4 restaurants. So there's a lot of things for you to do.
Great. Do you have like convention center? A few weeks ago there was the convention for the mayors. There was over 50 mayors. I was very involved, deep involved in it. Do you have like convention center here that we could bring some of those convention to the district, to the Little Caesar?
Well, the convention center, of course, is down on the riverfront, Cobo Hall,
So we're
going to keep that. But what we do have is a lot of different meeting areas and club spaces and things like that. So even when you came in today, when you were visiting the arena, you probably saw a lot of tables and chairs set up out in the concourse.
Yes.
We have meetings out there every time we don't have an event here, and we have other spaces around the building. So if you want to have a private party for 50 or 300, we can do that here anytime. So people want to be here because there's a lot of folks that haven't seen it yet, and so they just want to experience it.
Is there, let's talk into the Middle Eastern community. There's about 20 million, 9 million Middle Eastern all over the nation watching you. The Middle Eastern community, honestly, they love basketball because back home, and hockey because of the soccer. So that's a close.
Right.
What your message to them to come and visit you? Do you have in mind in the future to bring a superstar singer or a band from the Middle East, so thousands of people from the Middle Eastern community come and see your venue and see what you have here?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's one of the things that we haven't done a great job of, and so we need to do that. Also at the Fox Theater, which we still control, because that can hold 4,000, 5,000 people.
And we've done so many of them there.
Yes. And so we want to do more of that, and then we want to grow the acts, because sometimes they have to build a following here in the States, and then we can put them here. And we actually have curtains that can come down in this building that reduces the capacity to about 9,000, so it feels really good.
Concert.
Yeah, to have a concert.
Beautiful.
So depending on the draw or the magnitude of the artist, we're able to do that. So we really need to do that. We need to diversify because we've got a very diverse community here, obviously.
Especially in Michigan. We are multi-part of many ethnic minority. Including the Middle Eastern community.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and honestly, it's something nice for the people coming from different states, because we travel a lot. From Washington, they come here. From California, they come here. It's nice to take them to a place like this to show what we have in Detroit and Michigan.
Well, this is a game changer for everybody, and what we're seeing now is the amount of publicity that this building is getting. You know, we were awarded 4 different NCAA, which is a college tournaments.
A lot of activities coming. It's not just the basketball and hockey.
That's right. We've got the finals for the wrestling. We've got the finals for hockey. We've got the basketball tournaments, and that's important. No building has ever been granted 4 of these events before they've ever opened the doors. So that says a lot about the building, but it says a lot about how people in this country feel about Detroit, Michigan. After years of saying no thank you, now they're saying let's celebrate this incredible renaissance that we've enjoyed here.
Believe me, the image is completely different. And before we were shying from taking him to Detroit and downtown Detroit. Now we are very proud to take him and show him what the new Detroit is all about.
Well, that's exactly right. And you know, there's been 100 restaurants that have opened within a mile and a half of this building in the last 2 years. So there's things to do. There's great things for young people. And it started with young people coming down here. But what's nice is that come down here on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and you see people who are 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, waiting hours to get into some of the popular restaurants. And I never thought I would see that.
Great. Well, I know, Mr. Wilson, you are on tight schedule. We thank you so much for this interview. And honestly, we are proud to be Michigan. We are proud to be Detroit because of what you're doing here.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Dear reviewer, that was my interview with the president of Olympia, Mr. Tom Wilson. Honestly, if you're not visiting Detroit, come and see Detroit. You're going to be surprised, and come attend the game at the Red Wing or the Piston, and after that you have so many things to do here around, if it's restaurant or bars or anything you want to do, and it's very safe, very comfortable, and very enjoyment. So please come and visit. Thank you for watching, and good night.